Afternoon. This is Committee Chair Kalila Slater Harrington, and I'd like to welcome you all to the March 10th, 2026 meeting of the Teaching and Learning Committee. If you have not done so, please mute your phone. Anyone who does not mute their phone may be muted by the call moderator or removed from the call. Additionally, please turn your camera off if you are not a board member or the CEO or her staff. I will now read a roll call of the board to identify who is present. I know some of my colleagues were having difficulty joining, so we may pause to allow that. Please identify yourself before speaking for the record. Commissioner Chicas Guzman.
Commissioner Chicas Guzman present. Hello.
Hello. Commissioner Kenyatta Bay. Okay, I think still working through a challenge. And Commissioner Woodruff. I am present. So before we get started, I will, I see Commissioner Scott Woodruff is present. I see your hand. Welcome, Commissioner. So before we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize that we are meeting during Women's History Month and that much of the work we're going to discuss here is related to someone who our own district offices were named for. So let's take a moment to recognize Dr. Alice Pender Hughes. Dr. Pender Hughes was a pioneering Baltimore educator and civil rights leader who dedicated her career to expanding opportunities for students and strengthening public education in our city. So it seems fitting then that we would start our teaching and learning committee today, honoring her legacy and doing the work that we all do to ensure that every student in Baltimore City receives a solid education. So thank you, Dr. Pender Hughes, for your work. We honor her today. All right, today we will have a presentation on the secondary success and innovation. We'll get an update. I believe we were working to get our presenters in. Are our presenters present and ready?
Commissioner, we're still working on getting all the presenters the right access. So I just spoke to Sarita and we should have it in just another minute.
No problem. No problem. We'll just pause. I'll share for public comment. We do not have anyone here for public comment today, but members of the public who would like to provide comment to this committee can do so by written or pre-recorded testimony. Please submit your written testimony or your pre-recorded video the day before the committee meeting. Up to 5 individuals will be given the opportunity to provide comment to the Teaching and Learning Committee. Speakers will be granted 3 minutes, and all public comments should address teaching and learning related issues. Individuals or groups interested in providing comment to the committee may sign up in one of 3 ways. They can email public.comment@bcps.k12.md.us or call the board office at 443-642-4095. If you have any questions about the procedure, feel free to reach out to the board office. Finally, the chat function during our virtual meetings will not be used as a tool for gathering feedback or answering questions from the public. Again, if you have any follow-up questions, feedback, or want to know about our public comment procedure further, please email schoolboard@bcps.k12.md.us, and the board office will be happy to assist you.
All right.
Be there yet?
Yes, good evening, Commissioner Slater Harrington. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Welcome.
Eric Jefferson, Executive Director of Secondary Success and Innovation. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to send the link over to my team members who is presenting with me on today. And they should be on. Okay.
All righty.
All right.
Looks like we're all set.
Yes, we are. It's telling me that it's still not working for Eric Roberts and Michael Moss, the event code that was given to us.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson. We are working on putting them, they have to be put in as presenters. So we are working on getting them in the system now. Mr. Moss would just need to refresh, and I'm putting the other two in now. Thank you.
Austin Hill and Eric Roberts, yes.
E.D. Jefferson, this is Mr. Roberts. I think I'm good now.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanisha.
No problem. You're very welcome. In event services, thank you for your help.
Mr. Johnson, are you still with us? Did we lose? What's happening?
Um, Commissioner, I don't see him. I think he may have dropped, might be getting ready to log back in.
I saw the presentation loaded. Is anyone else on the team who has access able to start the presentation?
Tanisha, this is Yusuf, would you be able to share your screen from Board Docs and perhaps have the staff just talk through it while you flip through the slides to make it easier?
Oh, yeah, I can share, absolutely.
Good afternoon. Can folks hear me? This is Chief Dabrowski.
Hi, Chief.
Hi, good
Yes, I can hear
afternoon.
you.
So I know I'm hearing from Eric Jefferson that he's been kicked out of the meeting. It looks like a few folks have been, so I'm not sure if we're able to get them back. He's texting me saying he was sort of pushed out of the meeting.
Mhm.
Chief Dabrowski, oh, there he is, he's back.
I'm back now in the meeting.
Okay, great. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Mr. Jefferson, will you
Yes.
present again, or did you need me to pull the presentation up? I have it up.
If you could
Okay.
pull it up, go ahead and pull it up. I'll stop sharing my screen. Thank you, Tanisha. My other colleagues are not here, but for the sake of time, we can go ahead and get started. And welcome. We're still waiting on Eric Roberts, Austin Hill, and Michael Moss to join. They were actually kicked out as well. Somehow put out as well. So I can go ahead and get started for the sake of time. Welcome, everyone. This is Secondary Success and Innovation, Office of Teaching and Learn for the Teaching and Learning Committee. Dr. Joan Dabrowski is our Chief Academic Officer. Dr. Taisha Swinton-Buck is our Deputy Chief Academic Officer, and I am Eric Jefferson, the Executive Director of Secondary Success and Innovation. Go to the next slide, please. So our board priorities, we really are centered around priority 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we really hone in on 5 and 6 as we are moving city school students towards college and career readiness. Next slide, please. So the executive leadership team of the Office of Secondary Success is made up of Michael Moss, who's the Director of Secondary Support and Innovation. We have Director Eric Roberts, who's the Director of Post-Secondary Success. We have Zahar Valentine, who is the Director of Secondary School Support. We also have Sean Somerville, who is the Director of Career Readiness. And we also have Dr. Austin Hill, who's our Director of CTE Partnerships. We also show up in the mindset of habits and mindsets when we are supporting our schools with improvement routines and with supportive leadership. Next slide, please. So all of our work in this office is centered around Blueprint Pillar 3, which is that college and career readiness, is that we want to see all of our students when they graduate from a city schools, is to be college and career readiness, whether that is a CTE pathway and they're ready to go directly into the workforce, or if they are going to that college pathway, we want to see all of our students be CCR. When you're going to hear throughout the presentation, being CCR ready throughout the presentation, we want all of our students to be CCR ready. Next slide, please. So just the 25 cohort graduation rate. Next slide. We see that city schools had a 71.7% graduation rate, which is our highest rate since 2018 and the third straight year of improvement. We also saw an increase of 0.7 percentage points versus the state declined at 1.2%. We also have seen our highest 5-year graduation rate since 2019, including a 0.6% percentage rate increase from last year, and we are at 74.6% in our 5th-year graduation rate. So our graduation rates are steadily climbing. Next slide. So some of the key steps to those progress that our office supports directly is looking at the expanded credit recovery access and options for students. We're also looking at the on-track to graduation monitoring, which you'll hear more about in the presentation. The student coaching, our career coaches and our post-secondary advisors, and the planning that they do with our students is part of those keys to those increase in graduation rate. Our support for our students with disabilities in our transition services are keys to that. Our career-aligned CTE pathways and our work-based learning expansion have all key contributors to the rise in the graduation rate. Next slide, please. So I'm going to turn it over to Director Michael Moss, who's going to talk to us about secondary support and innovation.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Michael Moss, again, Director of Secondary Support and Innovation. Next slide. I'm going to talk to you about our On Track to Graduate program and its success towards helping raise our graduation rate. So our goal for this year is to have a 7 percentage point increase in first-time 9th grade students being on track to graduate as measured by MSDE, and have 90% of our first-time 9th grade students completing the student learning plans. Next slide. So I want to show you some of our progress and growth year over year from school year 23-24 to school year 24-25. If you look at the set of graphs farthest to the left, that is our first-time 9th grade promotion, which is measured by city schools. That is, if a student passes math and ELA, they are promoted or considered a 10th grade student. So from 23-24 to 24-25, we saw a 10% increase in students who were promoted to 10th grade. If you look to the third set, and I apologize on this just being a little out of sorts, on the third set, you'll see all of our 9th grade students. That's inclusive of our first-time 9th grade students and repeater 9th grade students who promoted from 9th grade to 10th grade. That was, or we demonstrated, we demonstrated an 11-point increase in regards to our promotion rates. Now, the second set right here, where it says first-time 9th grade OTG, which is our on track to graduate, that's measured by the state of Maryland. We saw a 10-point increase, and that is measured by students getting or obtaining a credit in math, English, science, social studies, and/or world language, plus an elective. So we're very proud of that progress. And if you look all the way over to the far right, you will see that there was a 12 percentage point increase in all 9th grade students, meaning those who were first-time and repeater 9th grade students being on track to graduate from school year 23-24 to school year 24-25. Next slide. So to let you know how we're going to continue our work, our focus for this upcoming school year and this school year has been moving from intervention to prevention. So a lot of our work is to ensure that our students are not sitting in a space of intervention and making sure that we are getting ahead of any issue that our students coming into 9th grade are having. So that's a robust summer bridge programs for our 8th graders transitioning into 9th grade. We have tiered support for our OTG coordinators who support this work on the school level throughout city schools. We do this through learning walks with our OTG coordinators, monthly huddles with our on track to graduate coordinators, and consistent data monitoring practices to ensure that we are ahead of any issues that come out for our 9th graders. For next year, we're looking to partner with an organization called the Center for High School Success, which will continue the work for some of our schools that need additional support so that we're continuing tiered level support for our students. And we are expanding into 10th grade as far as our on track to graduate work so that we can ensure that our students are college career ready by the end of 10th grade. Last thing I want to just highlight is our ninth grade advisory council, where we have student representatives from throughout the city who come and join us quarterly to discuss their experiences in ninth grade and help us better tailor our work. So at this time, I will turn over presentation to Director Eric Roberts from
Post-secondary success.
Success. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Moss. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Roberts, Director of Post-Secondary Success, and I have the extreme pleasure of leading the team that not only makes sure that our students graduate, but they graduate with a plan to help fulfill the greatness that's within inside them. Next slide, please. So our amazing team is composed of our school counselors, our post-secondary advisors, our mentoring and adult relationships team, and our secondary support and transition services team. And so when you think about that continuum, we want to make sure that our students understand their options, that they get individual guidance to support those options, that they have trusted adults to support their goals, and that our students with unique needs receive transition and support planning. Next slide, please. And so here are our goals and priorities. We want to increase the number of students who meet the CCR readiness or college and career readiness standard by 10%, to 10 percentage points rather. We want to increase the number of students enrolled in dual enrollment by 10 percentage points. We want to increase the number of students with a documented post-secondary plan, our 12th graders, by 10 percentage points. And also, we want to ensure that our students receive a Maryland Certificate of Completion Certificate endorsement certificate. That's something that's new this year from the state of Maryland. So we're excited about that opportunity as well. Next slide. So when we look at our work, one of the things that we want to do is we want to continue to provide college access opportunities through the NACAC and CIAA college fairs. And so this year, actually for the past 2 years, we have centrally provided funding for all of our high schools to send students to the NACAC college fair in the fall and the CIAA college fair, which was just a couple weeks ago. And if you were not there to see any of the games or the events, you missed it. We had the middle school students, some of our middle school students there on Tuesday. We had our high school education day on Wednesday, where they had members of the Royal Courts from all the schools. They had some bands, they had fraternities and sororities, and students, some of our students were even able to leave the college fair with on-site admissions, and some of them even had access to full rides. So it's an amazing experience, and we're so grateful to all of our community partners who helped ensure that our students were able to participate in those events. And so, like we said, those are things that we centrally provide funding to make sure that all of our high schools, except for our charters, are able to attend those events. We started a hashtag Be More College Ready. And so the Office of Communications is definitely helping us bring that to life. And we're also highlighting students who've been accepted to college. And I'm pleased to say that at the time that we first prepared this deck, which was towards the end of 2025, calendar year 2025, we had over 2,000 students who have submitted at least one application for college. Right. And we're starting even earlier. So we believe that this work should start as soon as possible. And so I'm pleased to say that over 700 of our current ninth graders have already completed all of their service learning hours required for graduation. We are also actually at this point starting a pilot for them to be able to start earning those hours as early as 5th grade. So we are definitely starting early, providing information and access to help students. Any student who wants to go to college, we help them try to provide the resources and information they need to be able to make that a reality. Next slide. And when we think about our students who have unique learning needs, we have a transition program at Coppin, BCCC, and University of Maryland, Baltimore. So we have 2 transition programs, BTC and Project Search, and we have a total of 24 students, and those students are between the ages of 18 and 21. I was just speaking with our coordinator, and it was so heartwarming to hear that some of our students in these transition programs have actually started to receive job offers. So students that we believe sometimes are kind of far from opportunity, we're providing the supports to help them get there. And so some of them at this point are even signing on for jobs. And that is so heartwarming. And then when we think about our mentoring and adult relationships, we have 37 mentoring programs. We have 716 trained mentors serving almost 1,100 students. Next slide. Because when we think about our updates and next steps, one of the things that we want to continue to do is strengthen best practices in professional learning for our post-secondary advisors, our school counselors, and our career coaches. And so we have monthly meetings with them, a variety of professional learning topics about current practices, best practices in the field of college acceptance, FAFSA completion and updates from the Maryland Higher Education Consortium, or MHEC, communicating with MSDE, and just all the updates that our students need to be able to be at the forefront of college access resources and information. We are launching the implementation of the 6-year plan as outlined in the Maryland Blueprint. That starts with students in 9th grade and take them all the way through their 2 years of post-secondary access. So the 6-year plan. And then, as I indicated earlier, we have our 5th grade pilot so that students can start earning their service learning hours even earlier. And when we talk about middle school, we talked about how we believe that college access starts even earlier than that as well. So providing those opportunities. So thank you for this opportunity to speak. And I'll now turn it over to Dr. Austin Hill.
Dr. Jefferson, I can't hear you if you are talking. Are you muted?
Yes, I'm filling in for Sean Somerville today. She's out on bereavement today. And so I will be filling in for her. So we're talking about career readiness. Career readiness in Baltimore City is structured pathways, aligned credentials, and meaningful workforce experiences. It means students that set a clear connection between what they have learned in school and who they can become after high school. So some of our goals today, goals and priorities for college and career readiness, is to increase the number of students who are enrolled in CTE pathways by 20%. We're also looking at increasing the number of certification exams attempted by 250. We're also looking at increasing the number of certifications earned by 10 percentage points and increasing the certification pass rate by 10%. All of these goals will help us hit this, what the blueprint says, the 45% of graduating seniors must complete a registered youth apprenticeship and or earn an industry recognized credential by 2023. So our goals and our priorities are really ladders to help us get to that blueprint goal of 45%. Next slide, please. So currently, what we have right now in city schools is we have 37 CTE programs across 26 school sites spanning over 13 career clusters. And all of these CTE programs and these career clusters, we all have what we call credential attainment. Part of the credential attainment, the state is switching from our TSA assessments going towards what we consider, what they call industry recognized credentials, what we call IRCs. And so there's a list of about 214 to 217 industry recognized credentials that students can earn while they're in their pathways. So what we have in the first line, you see the percentage of recognized post-secondary credentials attainment. That is for seniors that obtained an IRC and or a TSA assessment. 2023-24 school year, we have 50%. 2024-25, we increased by 14% to 65%. The state also gave us a file with our CTE graduation rate. So these are those students who progress through the pathways of our CTE and becoming a concentrator, which is they have finished 3 out of the 4 courses, or a completer, which they have finished 4 out of their 4 courses. The graduation rate for CTE graduation rate who met the level of concentrator and or completer, the graduation rate was 87%. And in 2024-25, it was 92%. And so the last data set that you'll see is the percentage of our students who, when we're shifting from the TSA assessments to totally shifting to the industry recognized credentials assessment, you'll see that in 23-24 school year, we have 40% of our students obtain an IRC. And in 24-25, we had 45% of our students obtain an industry recognized credential. So we are moving the needle when it comes to our students obtaining their industry recognized credentials. Next slide, please. So some of the updates and next steps that we are providing for schools and for our CTE teachers and for those that are on boots on the ground in our schools, we developed a targeted data-informed professional learning and coaching cycle. So we conducted needs assessments with pathway teachers to identify specific contents and pedagogical gaps related to their certification exam, blueprint, and industry standards. One of the things that we are moving to is all of our CTE vocational teachers earning the industry recognized credentials that they will be teaching our students to obtain. And so that's one of the pathways where we saw some gaps, and we are professionally developing our teachers to actually earn the IRC, as well as looking at those gaps in teaching and really coming together to in the professional learning cycle to ensure that all students and all teachers are really ready for the industry standards. The second thing that we're doing is also updating the 21, a new pathway forward to reflect the changes in the blueprint and the metrics that are associated with blueprint. So what we have to date is revised curriculum to meet the new industry standards for industry recognized credentials. And we also are have identified non-CTE courses where an industry recognized credential can be aligned to help us towards that 45% blueprint goal. Next slide. And now we'll turn it over to Dr. Austin Hill.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for allowing me to present today on updates for partnerships within work-based learning. Next slide. So our priorities and goals for this current school year is to increase apprenticeships by 25% year to date from 24-25 to 25-26, and then establish 2 school-based enterprises for school year 27, as that is one of the new pathway initiatives that MSDE is outlining and asking LEAs to focus on. Next slide. Within our career-connected learning options, city schools will begin to focus on apprenticeships and industry-recognized credentials. Apprenticeships, both Apprenticeship Maryland program and registered apprenticeships recognized by Department of Labor Licensing and Registration, and school-based enterprises. These 3 opportunities will give students a wealth of not only knowledge and information, but hands-on experience prior to them graduating from city schools. Next slide. Within our area, from 24-25 to 25-26 school year, we saw apprenticeships increase from 47 in 24-25 to 189 in 25-26 school year. New apprenticeship growth was a direct reflection to our initiatives within the healthcare industry, in Bloomberg, with our partnership with Baltimore's Promise and the Mayor's Office of Economic Development as well. These alignments that and community partners that we continuously work with help lead to the increase. Current projects that we are working on within area is to continue to increase apprenticeships and internship experiences that are offered, along with update to the driver's ed grant that we were awarded and awarding students to be able to complete that by June 30th of this year. Next slide. And then next steps, we're looking to formalize our processes with our community partners to be able to create more seamless opportunities for students, create flexible work experiences within the school-based enterprises. So working with school leaders to be able to identify what opportunities are within their school building that are already doing so they can be recognized, and then strengthen the district pipeline with grow your own initiatives that'll fall also under apprenticeships, registered apprenticeships, to be able to grow the talent pool that is already within city schools from a high school student level to move on post-graduation to be able to work.
That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you for listening to the presentation, and we open up the floor for any questions.
All right, that was well worth the wait.
Thank you.
Thank you for navigating all the technology in order to deliver that comprehensive presentation. I want to first open it up to my colleagues. I understand Commissioner Kenyatta Bay has joined us, as well as Commissioner Woodruff. It looks like the gang is all here. I hope Commissioner Chicas Guzman was able to get back on. Oh, yes, she is. All righty. Commissioner Chicas Guzman, we'll start with you. What are your questions?
I was wondering if I could get a second because I'm trying to find a quieter spot.
Oh, okay. No problem. Just let me know when you're back. Commissioner Kenyatta Bay, do you have any questions at this time?
Peace. How you doing?
Very good. No questions? All righty. Commissioner Scott Woodruff, do you have any questions?
I do, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the presentation. I agree, definitely worth the wait. I appreciate you all laying out individually what you all do and kind of the impact that you are having. I have one general question. When you shared the goals for each section, were those for the school, like the school year, this current academic year? And if so, can you talk to us a bit about how you're like progress monitoring, and given that it's March, how close or how far are you all from kind of meeting your respective goals? That's the first general question. And then for Mr. Roberts, I was curious about the college counselor piece. Do all of our schools have that staff? Are they all employed by city schools or some with like respective partners across the city? Because I know there's college bound. So if you could share more about that. And then Dr. Hill, can you just provide for the driver's license education, how many students are covered in that grant? And then maybe offline, I could learn more about driver's education more generally within the district. Able Foundation just put out a report around driver's licenses. There's some bills going through the state around some different provisions. So I have general questions about that, but that's all I have for now. And big thanks to you all for this great work.
So for your first question, Commissioner Woodruff, we can go through, I'm gonna ask Michael Moss to tell you how he's progress in monitoring ninth grade, and then we'll go to Eric. He can answer both questions, and then we'll go to Austin Hill, and then we'll come back to me to tell you how we're progress monitoring the career readiness piece. So I'll turn it over to Michael Moss.
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioner Woodruff. So for progress monitoring for on track to graduate work, in regards to monitoring our students' progress, we look at credit attainment at the semester point and at the end of the school year. So what we do is we look at how many credits students have accumulated to determine their pathway forward. In that regards, it's a little tricky to determine exactly where they'll land until the end of the school year in regards to being on track. But for promotion, If they've taken the English 1, passed English 1 and or Algebra 1 first semester, that'll then lead towards their promotion status within city schools measurement. It's a bigger, the English and math credits are a greater indicator than the other ones in regards to our students' pathway forward, in regards to being on track to graduate. In regards to measuring progress through student learning plans, we look at their beginning of the year completion rates and measure that against what we are going to prognose as far as their end of the year. Currently, we're quite a bit ways off from where we would like to be in regards to our first-time ninth graders having completed student learning plans. We're sitting around about 30% of our first-time ninth graders completing those. So we're working with our on track to graduate coordinators to get those caught up, as those plans do help us plan for our students as they go into 10th grade and what their future plans are in regards to pathways and the like towards graduation.
Okay, yeah, and so in terms of our goals, so the College Career Readiness Standard, we're partnering with the Office of Achievement Accountability to make sure that schools understand their data around the number of students who are meeting the College Career Readiness Standard. So that's been great in terms of working with them, and they help principals think through how to operationalize those metrics and support students so they can be ready and meet that standard. So they had a baseline and then increased by 10 percentage points. Dual enrollment, I want to give a shout out to our director, Zahara Valentine, because she leads a lot of that body of work. And so I believe at some point she'll be sharing to talk about more specific aspects of dual enrollment, not today, but that's also a baseline and then a 10 percentage point increase. When we looked at the number of students in post-secondary plans, yes, so at the beginning of the 24-25 school year, we were somewhere in the 60s percentage of students who we knew what they wanted to do after graduation. And so we definitely wanted to have a significant increase in that, because if we didn't know what our students wanted to do, we wouldn't necessarily know how to support them. So we did raise that at the end of last year, and we're trying to go even higher, because basically, like, barring any unforeseen circumstances, it is my belief and my expectation that we know what all of our seniors want to do so that we can support them. And then the certificate of completion with the students who are receiving transition services, that's more of an individualized basis. And because it's new, we are trying to establish some baselines, but we do have students in the pipeline that are going to be ready to receive those endorsements, and that's exciting as well. All right. So regarding your question in terms of, do all of our high schools have a college counselor? So we use the term post-secondary advisor, but yeah, they do our college counseling. And so we have roughly a pretty even split between the number of schools who have our post-secondary advisors or who receive college access support services through College Bound Foundation. Amazing partners. They support us wholeheartedly. We work together. So once again, with this whole theme of making sure that no matter who is in front of our students, being it a post-secondary advisor or a college access specialist from College Bound, that they're receiving those same level of supports so that they can fulfill their dream of getting into and succeeding in college. So that's how that plays out. Thank you.
Hello?
I will touch base regarding the driver's ed. So currently, the driver's ed grant will allow for 400 students to be able to receive driver's education services, with priority going to 100 of our apprentices that are connected with not only our pilot program, but our apprenticeship for Maryland program students, and the remaining 300 are open to city school students around the district.
And Jessica, and clarifying, so absent of that grant, is there a driver's education, or that grant allows that to happen?
So that the grant was a separate application. I do believe that there are schools who within their budgets provide, but I can't speak more to that. I can only speak to the grant application that was applied for.
Yeah, Commissioner Woodruff, the driver's ed grant allowed us to expand students' access to driver's education. There were some schools who were paying for it out of their budget. The Able Foundation did give us some monies last school year for driver's ed, but this driver's ed grant through MSDE, who was pushed by Senator McCray at the Maryland State House, has allowed access to 400 more students to obtain their driver's license, and the grant has to be used up by June 30th.
Thank you.
And so on the career readiness side, the progress monitoring, we progress monitor all of our pathways with the IRC at the end of at the end of certain courses. And so we have a December test window for industry recognized credential, and then we have a retest window in January for first semester. And then in second semester, we have a March testing window with a retesting window at the end of April. So we can keep track of all of our students who are eligible to test based on the course that they're in. And then if they passed it first semester, or if they didn't pass it, then we'll do retesting in January. And then the spring semester course, if they're eligible for an IRC, then we will test in March, and then there'll be retesting in April. And we use data links, and we also partner with OAA with that as well.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Chicas Guzman, are you ready to share your questions?
Yes, I am. Thank you for your patience.
Of course.
So this presentation really highlights opportunities like dual enrollment, internships, apprenticeships, CTE pathways, and, coming from a student, awareness of these opportunities can vary on how much you put yourself out there. It depends on the school, on our counselors, and I'm just wondering, what steps is the district taking to make sure that students across all city schools are consistently receiving information and support to access these opportunities? Yeah.
I'm going to turn it over to Director Roberts.
So Commissioner Chicas Guzman, thank you so much for highlighting that. So our school counselors and post-secondary advisors fall under my shop. And so I think that's something that we've tried to be very intentional about this year, is thinking through what communication needs to look like. So backing it up just a little bit, I think first we have to make sure that everybody has professional learning around like what opportunities are available and how to provide students with support in accessing them. So that's been our first role, is like a lot of making sure that everybody understands, a lot of support, making sure and thinking through how our staff members can support students. But then we got to think about how to reach students. And I think that is so critical in terms of what you raised. We had been thinking of things like through the website or social media and things like that. That's kind of where we came up with the hashtag and things of that nature. But we were students some time ago. So, I mean, I think I would love to hear any suggestions you have about how we can better get the word out, how we can better use our staff members to make sure that students have this opportunity. I would love that. Love, love, love. So any ideas that you have, we would be committed to hearing you and trying to see how we can bring those to life, because we want our students to know about all these great opportunities.
Okay, great. Yeah, we can definitely follow up because I do have a few ideas in mind.
Awesome. Yeah. That would be great.
Thank you.
All right. Is that the extent of your questions, Chicas Guzman?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Great.
Hello.
Great.
Hello.
I'm sorry, could I also highlight, I'm sorry, I just wanted to just follow up with that. Part of what we're doing within our ninth grade advisory council is seeking those perspectives from our ninth grade students so that we are building a better program in helping to, and helping guide the way that we inform and interact with our students. So I just wanted to highlight that also as another strategy that we're using to better reach our students throughout city schools.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I see we have Kenyatta Bay on camera. You have
Yes,
questions?
I
Commissioner?
hello. Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Sorry, I've had some technical difficulties trying to hook up with you guys
Understood.
today. But I have two questions for specifically when we're dealing with CTE. Okay, first of all, our cadre of instructors come out of industry, which is that a correct assumption? One.
Yes.
Okay,
Most of our
now that
cadres come out of industry. Yes.
okay, so are we creating a circle by which these you have programs that try to get the internships and all like that to maximize the experience that we have that are instructing our students to find internships, etc., within industry, and how has industry responded thus far? Do you have strong partners that will open the gateways? I'm an ex-CTE teacher, so and I see sometimes in the past we've had pushback from industry. And so, what is our greatest hurdle to overcome if we're to maximize that input? Because this is a direct alignment with our portrait of a graduate, where our success is based on. Also, the thing is that as we look at the matrix that we provide, are those matrices something that we see that's based on what is the need of our LEA, and our community? And finally, I have a question about your support. Thank you. That's the word. Support of those that are trying to push into being successful, because sometimes we have to recircle. I always do myself. So to get past that finish line. So I'm very much CTE specific on these questions, but what I just wanted to get more thorough understanding. We have things like re-engagement, etc., where we're trying to get people who may have struggled, found hurdles in front of them into a workable situation in society.
So I'm going to turn your first question over to Dr. Austin Hill,
Okay.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay. He can talk about the apprenticeship, internship, and maximizing our partners in our business community.
Okay.
So thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak. So one of our major partners, being Baltimore's Promise, has led the charge around Career Bound, where ourselves, MOED for the mayor's Office of Economic Development, Baltimore's Promise, and other nonprofits have strategically been looking to align with large-scale businesses. That's what led to the healthcare initiative. We are also going after a competitive grant in order to be able to expand upon registered apprenticeships. Now, one of the things that we're working through with the schools currently is scheduling opportunities for students to be able to participate in these activities, right? Because that's one of the hurdles and barriers that are currently in place that we're looking to be able to accommodate with. And from a barrier, I guess, from outside employment, there are some regulations that are in place that at times present a barrier to businesses, especially businesses who may not have a human resources department. DLL, Department of Labor Licensing and Registration, requires monthly check-ins amongst other paperwork opportunities for students to be able to be in a registered apprenticeship. So just working with partners to see if an intermediary could be in place to support those efforts as we look to be able to expand upon apprenticeships.
Yeah, and also to Commissioner Bay, we have met with just about all of the unions over the last 2 weeks. to start bridging that gap between our skilled trade unions and our students, because we know that we have the Frederick Douglass Tunnel that Amtrak is building. We're going to have the Key Bridge replacement, and the Chesapeake Bay Bridge is also out for bid for construction as well. So we know we have some major projects coming to Baltimore and the Baltimore area. And so we, Dr. Hill and his team have been really honing in and talking to our union partners and getting them at the table to really start understanding youth apprenticeship and really starting to give us some leverage into the unions for some of our students as well.
The next question those students that have been that have working their way back into the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we do partner with the Re-Engagement Center to help students earn typically what we will call an industry recognized credential. We also work with our partners, Baltimore's Promise, through our Grass to Careers program, which last year there were about 365 students who earned credentials that were workable credentials that will actually give them livable wages, such as CDL licenses, some trade skill licenses as well. So we do work with our partners and our Grass to Careers liaisons in our office and through Baltimore's Promise to support those students who may not be in the CTE pathway, who may not be college bound, but we are getting them the industry recognized credentials, some credentials that when they do graduate, they will have a skill that will translate into a livable wage.
Okay, and that phrase "livable wage" because we usually use a matrix that is handed from industry to us as to what a livable wage is, but some of those wages are invisible. Because of the way people take in their income, but it supports communities. And have we been looking at that gray area there, where there are certain industries that don't, fall into that taxable sort of category? And I know it's hard to measure. But I wanted to know whether or not we're trying to look to see whether or not we're supporting community efforts, to ensure survival in that area.
So, Commissioner Kenyatta Bay, we can definitely do some more research on that to see which industry recognized credentials are matching the community base. Because we get a list of about 215 to 218 from MSDE, and we kind of move in that direction with those credentials, but we definitely can do some research on some of the more community-based ones that will help community out that may not earn a livable wage, but does help the community out. So we can definitely do some research on that.
Okay. And the last question is, have we looked at the track record of success? Because we usually measure within the confines in which we have, which is going through Baltimore City Schools or, understanding, but what's happening afterwards? Have we measured that measurement of success? And not just for CTE, in other areas too, but just basically CTA, have we measured those success data that we can configure as success data?
So as of right now, I can speak for the whole department as a whole. The persist data is one of those data points that is really hard to get once they have graduated from city schools. What we are putting in place is our new system that we call School Links, which actually will allow students to have access to their college and career format up until they're 28 to 30 years old. Okay. So we'll be able now to track the persist data from students. When they go into industry, they can keep track of their credentials. They can keep track of their apprenticeship years. students that do go to college and graduate and then get a job after graduation, a career after graduation, we'll be able to track that data based on how well students use it after they leave city schools. We will be able to start tracking some of that persist success data.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're still gonna get you out of here early, but I'm gonna hold you for my questions now. All righty. So you shared encouraging data with the on track to graduate OTG, right? And I just want to know, are we seeing sustained credit accumulation in 10th and 11th grades? So we have the coaching in 9th grade. Are students attaining credits at the same rate or sustaining credits at the same rate in the 10th and 11th? Is that persisting?
Thank you for that question. So it's a mixed bag, where we're seeing that, in regards to our students, for consistently getting that level of credit attainment, once they leave the 9th grade, hence why we're looking to move into 10th grade to continue the support. This is a response to, requests from students directly who said, they appreciated the level of support that they received in 9th grade. Would love to have it in 10th grade so that it would, help them continue on to, on time to or on track to graduating on time. So, to answer your question, we're really still looking at, that level of, credit obtainment past the 9th grade in regards to our initiative. This upcoming year will be our 4th year where we've been in full scale in our schools.
I'd love to see kind of the data across the years. I'm sure you'll be watching and waiting for that too.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
also the potential impact of looping. So having that on track to graduation coach looping with them and what the impact of that is. My next question, when you graduation rates are increasing, I'm wondering, as if these gains are happening, are they occurring across the district or are they in concentrated or particular schools?
So when we break down the data, we are seeing that it is going across the district, but there are concentrations. We have 26 schools, 27 high schools. And so we did see some growth in the majority of our schools.
Right.
But there are still some schools who are still struggling with graduation rate. And we are working with those schools for targeted interventions in the 9th grade. We are looking at, that OTG work and really looking at that tiered level of support in the OTG work in the 9th grade to help those schools that do have low graduation rates, who also have low freshman promotion rate to 10th grade. So we have tier 3 supports for those schools where they are getting more than just a monthly meeting from the coordinator and the program manager. They're getting weekly meetings and weekly updates and data pulls and those type of things that are happening at those tiered schools where we're not seeing the graduation rate increase as well as we wanted to, or the 9th grade promotion rate is had a stagnant as well.
Okay. I have more questions. Kenyatta Bay, I saw your hand go up. Is this pertaining to this particular topic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not done with my questions, so don't take all the time.
Oh, you go for it, girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go for
I
it.
wanted to give you the opportunity to ask your question, but I just didn't want to take the rest of
Okay,
the time.
this is a real quick question because a lot of the problems that we have in moving forward, moving students, scholars forward, has been, and especially it happens in CTE, but it happens across the board, even going into college, are the soft skill supports. Okay, and how are we reinforcing that level of growth, because I think that's very, very important. You can learn how to, you know, be an accountant, but if you don't have the soft skills to go along with the people relationships, it doesn't work. So I just wanted to make sure that that is incorporated into this push.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Kenyatta Bay. We will definitely take that back as well.
So
Thank you.
as we're thinking about, you talked about Dr. Jefferson, you know, there's still some schools that are having challenges increasing their graduation rates, which we don't have to talk about which schools, but are there particular student groups who have seen the most improvement with graduation rates?
Commissioner Slater Harrington, I don't have that data in front of me,
Okay.
but I definitely can follow up with you.
Sure.
And within an email, and I will get with what I will do with get with Chief Jones and OAA, and we can craft an email for you to show you all of those.
Yeah, you want to take that as an action, it's fine. I just would like to see what subgroups are we seeing the growth in, and maybe getting to what is it then that is causing that growth. I'm almost done, I promise. Expanded credit recovery access. Do we know the percentage of graduates earning credit through credit recovery? And how are we making sure that those credit recovery classes, I don't want them to be so overwhelmingly hard they can't, be completed, but I do want to make sure that they're not seen as an easy option and still have rigor, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. You make perfect sense. This is something that I have to ask another director for that information with the credit recovery.
Okay.
And so we can definitely get you that information as well.
All right. Well, what do you think? You've talked about a lot of progress that's being made. Gave a very comprehensive overview of the initiative. What do you think are the biggest risks for that progress that you've been making? Is there anything that could happen that would reverse the gains that you're seeing, or that could cause this to stall?
That is a great question, Commissioner.
Budget.
I,
Okay.
I would say outside of budget, it would be building our relationships with our business partners and really honing in on businesses taking 17 and 18-year-olds for full apprenticeships. I would say that would be one of our biggest barriers. And that's one of our biggest barriers in the skill trades with our unions as well, is taking a first-year apprentice at 17 or 18 years old. And so that will probably be one of the biggest risks or barriers outside of budget that I would say would be what could stump the growth of these gains, would be if employers come back and say they're not going to take a 17, 18-year-old. And then we will have to pivot into other career connected learning avenues, which will be school-based enterprise or some type of internship. And that does not give them the full, 450 hours or 650 hours that they will need to really gain that real career connected learning.
Got it. That's something to definitely consider. That's it's always, I know budget is always a low hanging fruit, so I'm not happy to hear about an obstacle or a barrier, but the acknowledgement of a risk outside of money, like that's something that we can relationship build. That's something that we can advocate for. So that's something that we can work towards. So not everything is money is the point. I have 1,000 questions. I won't ask them all here. I have selfish questions like how do I get my daughter one of those seats in the driver's ed? Um, but I won't ask them here. But what I will let you know is that this committee, in particular, will be mindful moving forward around access.
Okay.
I know that we have principal autonomy over budgets, but sometimes that leads to inequitable access, right? So one principal decides how to fund over here, and maybe students over here don't get it. And so I think it's important that we take a comprehensive view of what opportunities are available where, and how do we build a network so that we increase access rather than diminishing it, so that students can feel that they can explore different opportunities even if they're not available. That may seem pie in the sky, but I think we have to work towards that. So that's what we're going to be mindful about moving forward. One last chance, other commissioners. Any more questions? I think we've exhausted this panel today.
So I wanted to touch on the first question you had, Commissioner. I think it was the first question. You mentioned getting data from the schools that have seen the most success. And I was just wondering if we could also add on to the data schools that have seen the less success so that we can implement strategies from the group that's doing well with this to the schools that aren't doing so well. Does that make sense?
Yes, Commissioner Chicas Guzman, very insightful. Listen, if this work is happening because listen to that critical thinking that's happening.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
Commissioner.
if you guys could loop me in with that as well, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
And I believe the board will see this in the IKEA updates and the IKEB updates. That's when you'll get the full report of the graduation data and the promotion data.
Out of curiosity, around what board meeting or month would that happen?
We can have the staff look that up.
I'm taking a look right now, guys. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
actually up, IKEA is up for the April 7th public board meeting.
Okay, I'll add that to my calendar. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all of the work that each of you are doing. I enjoyed the presentation, and we look forward to getting back data and seeing the next presentation.
Thank you so much, commissioners. We appreciate you, and Commissioner Slater-Harrington, thank you.
Sure. My pleasure. All right.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
We don't have any procurement items today, so and no public comments. So the next meeting will be on Tuesday, April 14th, and we'll be focused on early learning. We look forward to seeing each of you back on April 14th for the next Teaching and Learning Committee meeting. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the sun.
You too, Commissioner.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye,
care.
everyone.